Tin, I really liked how hard you were working in math today.
Thank you very much.
Today we're going to be reading a book called Thanks for the Feedback. It's about accepting criticism and compliments the right way. My name is Mrs. Frizzle and I teach 5th grade here at Houghton. Thanks for the Feedback, the story about accepting criticism and compliments the right way by Julia Cook. My name is RJ, and sometimes when people say things to me, I have a hard time knowing what to say back. One day after school, Frankie and I were having a bubblegum blowing contest. I blew a bubble that was about 29 times bigger than Frankie's. He looked at me and said, "You could go to the Olympics in bubble blowing and you'd win gold." When Frankie's words went into my head, I started to think about what he had said. I had no idea what to say back to him, and then all my words just started to swim. "No, I'm really not that good. You're a lot better than I am," I said. A few days ago, Norma the booger picker said, "Hey RJ, I like your new bubblegum t-shirt." Norma actually said something nice to me. She never does that. When Norma's words went into my head, I started to think about what she said. I had no idea what to say back to her. Then all my words turned into a blur. "You just like it because it's green," I said. "The same color as your boogers." Norma blew on her bangs, rolled her eyes at me, and walked away. Then she didn't talk to me for the rest of the day, which isn't such a bad thing. Then yesterday, when we were playing soccer at recess, Sam said, "Hey RJ, you need to kick the ball with more of the side of your foot when you shoot instead of using your toes." When Sam's words went into my head, I started to think about what he said. I had no idea what to say back to him. Then all my words just started to swim. "What do you know about shooting?" I said. "You're a goalie, not a forward." Sam gave me a weird look. Then he shook his head, wrinkled his eyebrows, and he walked away. He wouldn't even sit by me at lunch, and that's a bad thing because I ended up sitting by Norma, queen of the silent treatment. Last night, I had to go to parent-teacher conferences. I have no idea why I had to go. I'm not a parent or a teacher. "RJ," said my teacher, as we all took a seat, "having you as my student is such a great treat." "Who, me?" "You're doing such a great job when it comes to spelling, and I'm very impressed with your storytelling." "You are?" "You're also keeping your desk a whole lot neater. At our school play, you were an excellent greeter." "I was?" "RJ, when it comes to your math, I just can't say enough. You're one of the best. You know all the right stuff." "I do?" "We do need to talk about a few things. Sometimes your voice isn't as soft as it seems. I know it's hard for you to stay in your seat, but work time's the wrong time to try out your feet. I feel that you still waste too much time. Let's focus on your work so that you can shine." When my teacher's words went into my head, I started to think about what she said. I had no idea what to say back to her. All of my words just turned into a blur. "But I'm not the only one who talks out in class. I stay in my seat more than I used to, and I do focus. You just don't notice." Just then, my mom reached over, tapped me on the knee under the table. That's her signal for, "RJ, stop talking." So I did. When we got home that night, my parents made me sit at the kitchen table with them so we could talk about my conference. "RJ," my mom said, "your teacher gave you some really nice compliments tonight. Why didn't you just tell her thank you?" When my teacher's words went into my head, I started to think about what she said. I had no idea what to say back to her. Then all my words just turned into a blur. "RJ, when somebody gives you a compliment, the best thing you do is to look at the person, use a nice, pleasant voice, and simply say, 'Thank you.' Knowing the power of a compliment and learning how to accept praise can make you better and more successful in life. Then, RJ, my dad said, your teacher gave you some great constructive feedback on how you can do better, and you kind of sort of started to argue with her. But Dad, when my teacher's words went into my head, I started to think about what she said. I had no idea what to say back to her. Then all my words just turned into a blur. RJ, feedback is a good thing. It's information that can help you improve and grow. Most of the time when a person gives you feedback, it doesn't make you feel good, but that's the price you have to pay for growing. The way you handle feedback will make a difference in how other people treat you. Some people will give you mean feedback, and most of the time that's difficult to accept. You probably don't deserve mean feedback, but some people need to put others down so they can feel better about themselves. But just keep in mind, RJ, most feedback is just information. When somebody gives you feedback, they're helping to improve who you are. Listen to the person and say, okay, their words just might take you far. Make sure that when you listen, you look at the one who is talking to you. Stay calm on the inside no matter what is said, then carefully think it through. Are there times in class when you talk too loud or too much? Yeah, I guess. Do you have a hard time staying in your seat during work time? Yeah, I guess. Do you need to focus more in class so you don't waste your time? Yeah, I guess. Well, RJ, I think your teacher was giving you great feedback. About 39 years later, I got up from the kitchen table and went to bed. Before I went to sleep, I thought about everything my mom and dad told me. What they said really did make sense. The next day at school, I used the sides of my feet to kick the soccer ball, just like Sam told me to. I made 3 goals during recess. When the bell rang, Sam came up to me and said, "You're awesome, RJ." I looked at him, I smiled big, and I said, "Thanks," just like my mom told me to. During work time, when my teacher gave me the special signal for sit down, stop talking, and start working, I picked up on it right away. Really tried to focus, and I got all my work done without wasting time. At the end of the day, Bossy Bernice came over to my desk. "You stink at math because you don't show all of your steps," she said. "I bet you even copy off other people so you can just get the right answers." When Bernice's words went into my head, I started to think about what she said. She called me a cheater, and that's kind of mean, but her information is not what it seems. Maybe Bernice is just having a bad day, and unfortunately, I happened to get in her way. Maybe I should write down all the steps, then my teacher will know that I'm doing my best. Bernice gave me feedback, and now I know feedback is information that's helping me grow. "I don't cheat, Bernice," I said, "but you're probably right. I should write down all my steps. Thanks for the tip. P.S. Maybe I should have my dad talk to Bernice." One way when using feedback is to think about a strategy called 2 stars and a wish. Like this: 5th graders, 2 things to celebrate about you is your typing skills this year has improved so much with all the work you've been doing in writing. Another star to celebrate with you is your ability to stick with the math. Math is tough this year, getting you ready for middle school. One thing I would like us to work on as 5th graders would be walking in the hallway in a line and quietly. We're walking by classrooms and we need to respect those students who are in their classrooms learning.